So we're going to speak with TADCO this morning, and of course we'll speak to the chairman, Mr. Richard Alfred, and of course Mr. Director, Mr. Orwin Dillon. And of course there are so many things that we're going to speak to, but we'll start with some good news. There is a community care package distribution that is supposed to take place from TADCO. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Good morning, and thanks for having us.
All right, so I see community care package, and everybody print jersey and thing. So it means, therefore, you're going to all the communities and distribute these packages. Talk to us about it.
Right, so good morning to all. The intention of the community care package is for identifying the persons in need in certain communities across the Tobago. These persons will be identified by the various area reps and their team, identifying persons who they believe in their community. There are different criteria to fulfill. TADCO is just the executing agency in terms of executing it. So farmers and agro-processors will have their goods come into TADCO, in which we will then distribute them to various packages in terms of food items and the processed items, the finished product, and persons will now have that health part of it. It is a collaboration with health as well, so there will be some level of health checks, I would want to say. Yesterday at the launch, we had the persons at the TRHA came to check persons' blood pressure, sugar level, the height and weight, and they had a consultant there who would provide advice based on if you are over or under the acceptable limits. So it's a very good program in terms of farmers can now have a means of getting their items out, agro-processors, so it's good advertising for the agro-processors to see, to be able to see their products as well.
Mr. Dillon, you've been in the farming industry as director of TADCO. Just talk to us about the role that the farmers would play in providing and what I'm gathering is produce from farmers, and you talk about health, so you have pork, choy, cabbage, lettuce, tomatoes, sweet vegetables and so on. Speak to us of what is in the package and where the farmers fit in this distribution.
Okay, thanks for having us this morning. The package consists of, as Mr. Alfredo said, all locally grown products in Tobago. So what would have happened, farmers would have had the opportunity to register for the program. Once you have registered, we have our officers and myself who will go to actually visit the farmers and make sure they are doing things up to par. You are selected for the program based on the product that you have available at the time. And those products will be coming to the way to TADCO Pack House, where we'll sort them, pack them, and distribute the farmers. The idea is to provide quality product, healthy products from Tobago. Number one, must be from Tobago to go into this package. The farmers are going to benefit. The idea is to encourage the farmer to produce, so we can take the produce from the farmers to be delivered to the individuals in a safe way.
So these products were bought, I want to use that word because
from the farmers.
From the farmers.
Yes.
They make a little money on the side, outside of what they regularly do.
Normally do.
So how long has this has been ongoing? Because obviously...
The program was launched yesterday, and the distribution began this morning at 10.
No, in terms of collecting from the farmers, how did that happen? When I say that, okay. So the distribution is tomorrow. You launched
today.
You launched yesterday.
Yes.
But the collection of the varying products from the farmers had to start about last week?
No. Because they are agricultural products, they are fresh products.
Okay.
It was started this week.
Okay.
And based on the product, and because of the shelf life of a different product, some people that start bringing in things like Tuesday, Wednesday, and up to yesterday, products came in, and they were sorted yesterday to be delivered today.
Excellent. All right. So throughout Tobago, all the districts, obviously, and of course, the people in the districts were identified by the representative, you said already?
Yes, in terms of who would receive these packages. So there's a criteria in terms of what will qualify someone to meet those criteria, which is identified by the area reps. Because they would have the data as to the persons in their communities who in need, based on persons coming to their office, based on their walks and stuff like that. So it's they would identify that. We are just there to execute it and ensure that it's done in a very seamless manner and avoid any issues.
All right, so you would get your detail when you go around. Do you have? Is it village to village, or is it simultaneous? So you would have a number of trucks or vans at the same time. Some in Moria, some going, and Moria would cover the north. Or how is this distribution going to happen?
So after the packages are made up, the persons will be contacted and they will come to a location and they will collect their packages.
Oh, okay.
We are also partnering with health, that they would have identified some persons within their realm who are at risk, I would want to call it, so that we have some persons as well who are in need, because there's a lot of lifestyle diseases, so they are very happy. We had the secretary at the launch, and she was very happy about the launch, because the aim is to reduce the amount of money that is spent towards healthcare as relates to the lifestyle diseases.
All right, so what's making up I'm interested in what makes up the package. I've mentioned vegetables. Obviously, you would need some solid foods like yam, dasheen, cassava. Just give us an idea what the variety of what makes up the package.
For this first distribution, we have identified 26 products. There are 26 products going into the bag. Let's name it. Once the agricultural product, we have it. We have dasheen, potato. We didn't get a potato. We wanted potatoes. There was no potatoes available at this time. So we have dasheen leaves. We have chive, pak choy, cabbage, tomatoes, flavor pepper. We had eggs. We have chicken. Chicken as well. Everybody
Well, I like that one. Let me stop a little bit, because I was wondering about livestock, and that was going to be my next question. We know that TADCO had undertaken having farmers raise chicken and so on. I haven't heard anything about it. Where is it, and how are you able to get the chicken? Is it local as well?
Yes. So this is like a hybrid version now. So we know that the persons can grow the chicken, and they can process and stuff like that. So this is more like a hybrid version now, where we have the list of those farmers. They are the ones contacted, and we will get the chickens from them. They will provide the finished product directly to us. So it's like a hybrid to that program.
Okay.
Yes.
So there are those who would benefit also the livestock.
We have a total of 83 farmers registered so far that we are within our cadre that we are using from Tobago. And that will increase.
You mentioned chicken. Any other livestock? Maybe I get a piece of pork?
No pork in this distribution, and that was based on the advice from the health department.
Okay, no pork.
We have health individual. We have people from health at the community level.
Okay.
And they said no pork. Anyhow, they're going to get fish.
Very good. But I must ask.
There must be smoked fish, and as you asked about Capital of Paradise, we have processors who process the fish. They buy catch from the Capital of Paradise. So we have those individuals supplying fish and smoked fish for the package.
I like it, and I like it because it's should we say, a platform to provide market for farmers' goods. Is this a one-off, or this would be ongoing? Because the fact that you print jerseys, it means that you just can't print for just one event.
No. So this will go on for approximately 6 months.
Wow.
After the 6 months, it will be evaluated. That result and that data will go to the various divisions for further review. Yeah.
Well, farmers would be happy.
Yes,
If I am a farmer,
yes.
I can't wait for you to buy my goods.
But the data that we are going to collect from the stuff that the farmers are doing is going to be used into a much larger spreadsheet that we can therefore provide to the various associations, like the hotels associations, the supermarkets and stuff like that, so that these are the farmers that have X amount, and we therefore can act maybe as an agent.
Yes.
To supply the person, so that the data is there, which I believe will work hand in hand with the local hotels, groceries, and that type of environment.
Very good. No, so these are more or less, should we say, a platform for, let's say, increased demand.
Yes.
Let's say that their hotel, let's say Elephant Tree up in the east that is going to, let's say, open and so on. Mr. Dillon, and this is a question for you. The cadre of farmers we have, let's say, demand increase. Given that 6 months of supply for this project would be sufficed, I suspect. But let's say that the demand increase. Do we have supply to suffice, let's say, the same elephant tree?
I think with time, the production will increase. I think one of the secrets about this entire program at this point, the way I see this, I see listening to everything and seeing everything being in the field. Once we can agree to pay those farmers within a time frame, and we have already agreed to pay them within 7 days, that will be a boost, an incentive for those farmers to go out and produce. One of the most challenging for a farmer is to produce an item and kind of dispose of it. And we have good farmers, but they're not good salesmen.
Meaning they're not good?
They're not good salesmen. There's a difference between farming and selling. two completely different businesses.
So in other words, all you want to ask the farmer is the farm.
It's the farm.
Produce. And you will provide.
We will produce.
Yes.
Provide
you will take this goods from. And that's what farmer wants.
And we will give you money within 7 days.
Excellent. All right. So those farmers that are work with this project are comfortable that, of course, you would pay. There's no question about that. But again, this whole question of having a ready market is what a farmer wants to hear.
Exactly.
Show him the money and he go produce.
That's right.
The support now for farming, of course, the incentives for produce, you're getting your money and so on. But in terms of support, what are some of the cries or some of the issues that farmers are going through that the Division of Agriculture can supply or can provide for them, in your view?
In my view, I've been out beating the group because I'm one of the person who I had to go there to visit the farmers before we could select the products for the product. When we started the program, we wasn't getting much rain. When we started to visit the farmers, some were concerned about the water supply. Some were concerned about access to tractor pool service. Those are the two things that actually farmers are complaining. The two main things was the water supply and tractor service. Mm-hmm. Those are the two issues that was voiced by most of the farmers.
Very good. And of course, you being part of the Farmers Association as well.
Yes.
There's always this talk of farmers having their own equipment. Maybe the purchasing and having somebody operate the tractor to plow would eradicate the dependence on tractor pool because they are not reliable. But that is a real issue, Mr. Dillon. And of course, that could stand by to support, I suspect.
Of course.
Is there any collaboration in that regard?
Well, based on the results of the findings of this initiative, I think the opportunity will be there for a tractor to be dedicated completely for this.
Exactly.
For this program.
Yeah, right. And Mr. Richards, yes, Mr. Ricardo, yes. Tell me now, and I liken this, and for 6 months. So those people who were supplied, I want to ask, will they, let's say for the rest of the 6 months, are they going to be getting supply every month for the 6 months, or we're going to find different people?
So what is going to happen is that there's a continual verification. The more persons that come in, we're therefore going to do some verifications because we're dealing with public funds. Mm-hmm. So procurement would be the person that will be contacting these persons because at the end of the day, they are considered as suppliers in which you have to go through a procurement process. So procurement will contact them and they would go through a process. It will be various persons coming in to register. They say, okay, I have some tomatoes or whatever coming in. We will go and verify that it is so that to avoid persons bringing up stuff from Trinidad and sending back to us. This avoids a lot of, issues as relates to what comes up on the ferry. So the aim of it, at the launch, and there was a young girl, I would say, very talented young lady that sang a song which I would say that moved everybody that was there, where she spoke about reducing the amount of goods coming up on the boat. Being as how I am in that port industry for over 23 years, I can tell you what comes up on the boat on a regular basis. But as Mr. Dillon mentioned, there's a difference between the marketing and growing. Mm-hmm. It is two different, if a farmer has to grow and then find the time to market his goods, it's a very time-consuming thing. And you did mention a very critical thing, items which affect the farmers. Yes, and you have tractors. The aim of this really is that from the data, we are going to have some workshops again with the farmers because training is very important in which they have to understand the financial obligations as well. So things like receipts and stuff so that they can actually go to the bank and get things like tractors and stuff like that. These things are becoming quite cheaper now on the market, actually, in terms of two-wheel tractors and stuff like that. If I have to plow my area, I have my own tractor that I use, which it works well. But the aim is to get farmers more reliant and away from that. I don't want to use the word dependency, but it's to get them more self-sufficient.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. So I said, Mr. Alfred, if I mix up your name there. But anyway, I wanted to get, though, as I said, the people who will be supplied, this is the first round. We have 6 months of this. Yes. We're going to be knocking on the same door every month. Or are we going to find other people in the communities that may not be on the database that really need? Because what you're doing is, if you teach a fella to fish, he go rely on the fish you gain him every month. I want to get to that and how we're going to sort that out.
Okay. There wouldn't be a problem. This program was supposed to start with 200 persons. We started with 1 because of demand and supply. We could not get enough produce to supply 200 persons at this point in time. We started with 100. We're going to distribute 100 packets today.
Right.
So as the farmers come aboard, we're going to expand the program. The plan is to expand the program, but we could not have started with 200 persons. We did not get enough supply with 200 persons. There are some items we wanted and we just didn't get the item. For example, dashing.
Right.
We wanted dashing. One man promised us dashing. Next day man called back and said, when you after dashing, somebody stole the dashing and most of the dashing on the field.
Really?
You understand? So there's no dashing in the package this month for those who want blow food.
Oh my God.
There is none.
Yeah.
And those are the challenges. As we go forward, we expect more farmers to come aboard and we expect more participants going to get. Because I can tell you for sure, as individuals hear about this package, they will become interested. They will be knocking at the doors of the area representative. I need, things rough, that will happen.
All right. But Mr. Dillon, there is the issue of farmers wanting their price. There might be what you call the market price or what is popular in the market. For example, there's somebody who comes at a particular location in Tobago every week with produce from Trinidad and sell it at door price, spoiling the market price, and so busting the people or busting the throat of the regular vendors. The fellow who is planting his stuff want the price that is if you want to call it market price for his goods. Is this initiative paying farmers what is due to them, or is it that they are paying or they are taking a lesser price? Talk to us about that, because that is also an issue, because there are farmers who will tell you, I prefer to go and stand up in the market and sell me thing pom, as opposed to you coming and take me thing wholesale and giving me next to nothing. Right. Talk to us about that.
So what person have to understand that there is something called procurement, in which you have to look at the market rates.
Market rates.
Right? So in which that governs how much you can pay and can't pay. You cannot go outside of that market rate per se. But we are there to negotiate with the farmers in terms of a reasonable price. But it is governed by that whole procurement process. If you go outside of the rate, you have to justify a lot of issues.
Right, Mr. Dillon, because I remember, and you will answer it just now, on television they used to give you at the weekend co-op the price of cabbage, the price of tomato, the price of peppers, and that used to be, and you would be guided by that. So when you go to the market, I feel I tell you $25 when really the price is $10. Speak to us about the price for this, the goods that the farmer is expecting to be acceptable.
As Mr. Alfred mentioned before, training for the farmers. One of the training we have done before this distribution, after the selection, we brought the farmers together, was on the program, and we did what they call a post-harvest training. It's our plan in the very near future to train the farmers cost of production. Once you know the cost of production, it's very easy for you to come up, calculate the cost of the cost of the produce item, so then you can come at your market price, the price of selling goods at the market. Now you mentioned about the goods coming from Trinidad and the goods in Tobago in terms of pricing. Quality is important. We are dealing with people who are health challenged, and not because they are health challenged, we will give them anything. I can boast and say the majority of Tobago products, the quality comes at a cost.
All right.
So we can actually pay the farmers the price once it's justifiable, because we are looking at quality.
Excellent. Mr. Alfred, I heard something there from Mr. Dillon that is very concerning. And that has to do, if we have to do this thing for 6 months, I'm worried about supply. He mentioned there about one guy with Dashin. And this whole question of how TADCO could get involved in probably zoning farmers so that you could rely on, if it's 3 Dashin farmers we have that can supply all of Tobago and maybe export, then that would suffice. But if you're relying on one fella, the next person you might go by who's supplying pak choy may not be able to supply you for the rest of the months. And that is an issue that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
Is there in the thought process going forward to accommodate that so that the farmer, you can't plant Dashin now and expect it to get ready next week. It takes about 9 months for Dashin to be ready. Let's speak to getting farmers ready for market from a TADCO standpoint.
So it's a larger picture. So what you are mentioning is something called So Tobago farmers are mostly planters of multiple crops, whereas in Trinidad you have mono farms, strictly one product throughout the year. We need to get to that point where you have a group of tomato farmers, a group of dasheen farmers, but it's a wider picture that needs to happen with the various associations and individual farmers. The practice right now I would say among farming is that whatever is on the market that is hot, most of the people will try to plant. So if cucumber is on the market, you're going to find a lot of people planting.
Again, a good price with now, so everybody.
Yeah. So right now we have a lot of rainfall. As we speak right now, prices will drastically change. So we have to do some adjusting of our prices because of the rainfall, and it will affect a lot of persons. So you're going to see an increase next week in things like tomatoes, cucumbers. These things are going to increase. So the aim is getting persons to focus on a few crops and to have a longer consistency period. And that is the major challenge among some of the supermarket owners and the restaurants, is that consistency. But we have to get the farmers to understand, as Mr. Dillon said, that they have to understand the value of the dollar and they have to understand the value of their product. They have to know how much it costs for the fertilizers, how much it costs to plow, how much it costs to packages. These things add up, so they have to work out a price that is...
that they can't lose.
That they can't lose, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, anything else? Well, I can't get, because this is a segment that because I wanted to get in another thing, but you come back another time when we can really freelance on the issues that TADCO needs to address.
Yes,
but I can't take you up on it because they cautioned me, hey, these are paid segments, so we have to be careful.
Right.
So I'll tread lightly, but at the end of the day, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much. A wonderful initiative. I think that, the farmers would benefit from this. And of course, the people who receive these packages would be very thankful. All right, so just in closing, we'll start with you, Mr. Dillon.
Okay, I just want to encourage the farmers, the opportunity, make use of the opportunity. There's a market readily available. We're knocking at your door, open your door, we're waiting to buy your produce.
Excellent. All right, and in closing, Mr. Alfred?
What I would say that this, with every project that TADCO is involved in, there must be some level of issues I would want to see. And we are here willing. Should you need me back, Mr.
I need you. Hello.
Yeah, no problem.
I want to ask you some questions, Mr. Alfred. All right, so you'll make yourself available.
I'll make myself available.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, and all the best. And of course, farmers are having a happy day. Their produce will be taken from TADCO, and clearly, and that used to be a thing in the past. We used to go knit that. Have about 5 bunch of planting. You go,
Marketing board.
Marketing board, and they would come and take your stuff from you, and you're glad to go. That doesn't exist anymore. I guess that TADCO is taking up the slack in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. So I think they don't know I've been around a long time.